My friends, I want you to listen carefully to these words, for they contain within them the secret to all human achievement. Strength and growth come only through continuous effort and struggle. These are not merely words. They are the fundamental law of all progress, all success, all greatness that has ever been achieved by any human being who has walked this earth. Now, I ask you to pause for a moment and consider this truth. Most people spend their entire lives running from struggle. They seek the easy path, the comfortable road, the way of least resistance. But what if I told you that the very pain you're avoiding, the struggle you're running from, is the exact pathway to your power? What if the greatest deception of our time is not that life is hard, but that hardness is something to be avoided at all costs? My friend, I'm here to tell you something that may shock you. Acting unbreakable in the face of struggle is not delusion. It's how power is born. It's how ordinary men and women transform themselves into forces of nature that nothing can stop. The question before you today is not whether you will face struggle, for that is as certain as the sunrise. The question is whether you will use that struggle as the forge in which your character is shaped, or whether you will allow it to break you into 1,000 pieces. Now let me share with you a dangerous myth that has infected the minds of this generation. The myth of instant strength, instant success, instant gratification. Walk down any street, open any magazine, scroll through any screen, and what do you see? Results without struggle. Success stories with the struggle edited out. Before and after pictures with the daily discipline hidden from view. But I'm here to remind you of something Napoleon Hill understood decades ago. Endurance and persistence are infinitely more valuable than raw talent. You see, talent is what you're born with, but character is what you build. Talent may get you started, but only character will carry you through the darkest hours when everything seems lost and every voice around you is telling you to quit. Here's what most people don't understand. You're not weak because you feel overwhelmed. You're not broken because you feel afraid. You're not a failure because you've been knocked down. You're simply untrained. Think about this for a moment. When a person goes to the gymnasium for the first time, their muscles are weak, their breath is short, their body protests with every movement. Are they broken? No. They are simply untrained. The weakness is temporary. It's the starting point, not the destination. The same principle applies to your mental and emotional strength. Every time you feel like you can't handle another setback, another disappointment, another failure, you're not experiencing evidence of your limitation. You're experiencing the growing pains of strength that has not yet been developed. But here's where most people make their fatal mistake. They judge their capacity by their current condition rather than by their unlimited potential. I want you to understand something profound. The champions of this world, the men and women who seem unbreakable, they weren't born that way. They became that way through the daily practice of acting stronger than they felt, moving forward when everything in them wanted to retreat, and refusing to accept defeat as permanent. Now I must share with you one of the most powerful principles ever discovered in the realm of human psychology, a principle that Napoleon Hill called autosuggestion. Autosuggestion is simply this. Whatever you repeatedly tell yourself with emotion and conviction, your subconscious mind accepts as truth and begins to make real in your experience. This means that when you act unbreakable, even when you feel broken inside, you are not being false to yourself. You are being true to your potential. You are speaking to the person you are becoming, not the person you have been. Let me paint you a picture of how this works. Imagine a man who has lost his business, his savings, and his confidence. Every morning he looks in the mirror and sees failure staring back at him. But then he makes a decision that will change everything. He decides to act as if he is unbreakable, not because he feels unbreakable, but because he knows that strength is built through practice, not through feeling. Each morning he stands tall. He speaks with conviction. He makes his plans as if success is inevitable. He takes action despite his fear, day after day, week after week. He practices the art of being unbreakable. And then something miraculous happens. The man who was acting strong begins to become strong. The confidence he was pretending to have becomes real confidence. The determination he was practicing becomes unshakable resolve. Why does this work? Because your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between what you vividly imagine and what you actually experience. When you consistently act with strength, your mind begins to accept strength as your natural state. This is not self-deception. This is self-construction. You are literally building the person you want to become through the consistent practice of being that person. But remember this, the transformation doesn't happen overnight. Just as the bodybuilder doesn't become strong from one workout, you don't become mentally unbreakable from one day of acting strong. It requires what Hill called persistent, continuous effort. The magic is not in the feeling, the magic is in the doing, again and again, until the doing becomes your being. Mental toughness, my friends, is not something you either have or don't have. Mental toughness is something you develop through daily discipline and deliberate practice. Napoleon Hill spoke often of what he called definiteness of purpose. Having a goal so clear, so compelling, so deeply embedded in your consciousness that nothing can break your focus or shake your determination. But definiteness of purpose alone is not enough. You must combine it with daily habits that reinforce your mental strength and emotional resilience. Let me share with you the daily practices that separate the strong from the weak, the persistent from the quitter. First, begin each day with affirmations of strength. Before the world has a chance to tell you who you are, you tell yourself who you are becoming. Stand before your mirror and declare, I am unbreakable. I am persistent. I am moving toward my definite purpose with unwavering determination. Second, deliberately choose difficult tasks. Don't wait for life to challenge you. Challenge yourself. Every day, do something that requires you to push through resistance, to act despite fear, to persist despite difficulty. This is how you build your mental muscles. Third, practice delayed gratification. In a world of instant everything, the person who can wait, who can persist, who can endure temporary discomfort for long-term gain, possesses a power that most people have surrendered. Fourth, engage in mental rehearsal. Before you face any challenge, see yourself handling it with strength and composure. Visualize yourself remaining calm under pressure, persistent in the face of obstacles, unshakable in your commitment to your goal. Fifth, develop emotional control drills. When anger arises, pause and breathe. When fear appears, acknowledge it but act anyway. When doubt whispers, respond with action. These are not weaknesses to hide from. They are training opportunities. Remember, every champion was once a beginner who refused to quit. Every strong person was once weak, but chose to become strong through daily discipline. The question is not whether you have what it takes. The question is whether you will do what it takes day after day until strength becomes your second nature. Now, I must tell you something that may be difficult to hear, but it is essential for your growth. You must go through the fire. Let me repeat those profound words of Napoleon Hill. Strength and growth come only through continuous effort and struggle. And notice he didn't say strength comes through happiness, comfort, or ease. He said it comes through struggle. This is not punishment. This is preparation. Every diamond was once coal that handled pressure exceptionally well. Every eagle learned to soar by being pushed from the nest. Every champion was forged in the furnace of adversity. The pain you're experiencing is not evidence that something is wrong with your life. It's evidence that something is being built in your life. The pressure you feel is not meant to crush you. It's meant to shape you. Consider the story of a young entrepreneur who lost everything in his first business venture. His friends told him to get a safe job. His family questioned his judgment. His own mind filled with doubt and fear. But instead of seeing his failure as proof that he wasn't meant for success, he saw it as tuition paid to the University of Experience. Instead of letting the loss break him, he let it teach him. Instead of giving up his dreams, he refined them. 2 years later, armed with the wisdom that only comes through struggle, he built an empire that dwarfed his original vision. The fire that could have destroyed him became the forge that shaped him. This is the truth that most people never understand. Your hardships are not your handicaps. They are your hidden advantages. Every rejection teaches you persistence. Every failure shows you what doesn't work. Every disappointment builds your capacity to handle greater challenges. The person who has never struggled has never grown. The person who has never failed has never learned. The person who has never been tested has never discovered their true strength. So, when the fire comes, and it will come, don't run from it. Walk through it. Let it burn away everything that is weak in you and refine everything that is strong. Now, I want to share with you one of Napoleon Hill's most profound but least understood teachings. The truly successful master their emotion. Most people believe that emotions happen to them, that they are victims of their feelings, slaves to their moods, prisoners of their reactions. But this is the thinking of the weak and the defeated. The strong understand that emotions are not something that happen to you. They are something that happen within you, and therefore something you can learn to control and direct. When anger rises within you, you have a choice. You can be controlled by the anger, or you can control the anger. When fear whispers its lies, you can believe those lies, or you can act in spite of them. When doubt tries to paralyze you, you can surrender to paralysis, or you can move forward anyway. This is what Hill called thought control and emotional maturity, the ability to respond rather than react, to choose your emotional state rather than be chosen by it. Let me be clear, I'm not suggesting you suppress your emotions or pretend they don't exist. I'm telling you to master them. Feel the fear, then act with courage. Acknowledge the anger, then respond with wisdom. Notice the doubt, then move forward with faith. Here's a practical technique for developing emotional control. When any strong emotion arises, pause for exactly 10 seconds. In those 10 seconds, ask yourself, how does the person I'm becoming respond to this situation? Then respond as that person would respond. Remember, every time you choose your response instead of reacting automatically, you are building emotional muscle. Every time you act with strength despite feeling weak, you are proving to yourself that you are more powerful than your circumstances. The person who can remain calm in chaos, hopeful in hardship, and determined in defeat possesses a power that no external force can touch. This is true power. Not the power to control what happens to you, but the power to control what happens within you. And when you master yourself, you discover that the whole world opens up to you, because the person who cannot be broken by external circumstances cannot be stopped from achieving their dreams. My friends, as we come to the close of our time together, I want to leave you with this final truth. Strength and growth come only through continuous effort and struggle. These words have taken on new meaning now, haven't they? They're no longer just words on a page. They're the blueprint for your transformation. I want you to understand something profound. Acting strong is not being fake. It's being faithful to your potential. Every time you stand tall when you want to collapse, every time you move forward when you want to retreat, every time you persist when everything in you wants to quit, you are not pretending to be someone you're not. You are becoming who you were always meant to be. Your strength is not found in never falling down. It's found in always getting back up. Your power is not in never feeling afraid. It's in acting courageously despite your fear. Your greatness is not in avoiding struggle. It's in using struggle as the ladder that lifts you to heights you never imagined possible. So I challenge you today, for the next 7 days, wake up each morning and act like nothing can break you. Not because nothing can hurt you, but because you are stronger than anything that can hurt you. Stand before your mirror and declare, I am unbreakable, not because I never fall, but because I always rise. I am unstoppable, not because I never face obstacles, but because no obstacle is greater than my determination to overcome it. Remember these final words and let them echo in your heart whenever doubt tries to whisper its lies. You may be hurt, but you are not defeated. You may struggle, but you are not broken. You may be tested, but you cannot be conquered. Because within you lies a power greater than any force that can oppose you. Go now and act like nothing can break you. Because when you do, you'll discover the most amazing truth of all. Nothing can.